Two tails, one head, yang yang. Two heads, one tail, yang yin. 3 tails, old yin. Two tails, one head, yin yang. Two tails, one head, yin yang. Two heads, one tail, yang yin. Our bottom trigram of our primary hexagram will be read as solid, broken, broken. This is Zen thunder. Thunder is shock, upheaval, and the spark of the new. In old Chinese belief, thunder slept in the earth over winter and erupted from it in spring, awakening living things into new growth. Thunder is our basic drive for renewal. He inspires initiative and decisive action. He is the stimulus that sets things in motion. He is the eldest son in the Trigram family, the first connection of heaven, potential, with earth, realization. Yang makes itself known here, emerging into the field and beginning to grow. Thunder belongs to the east and to spring. Our top or outer trigram will be read as solid, solid, broken. This is Xun, wind or wood. Nope. Dewy, lake or marsh. Dewy is lake and marsh, abundant energy that teems with life. She is the impulse to communicate, share and exchange, and delights in both inner and outer conversation. She brings things into circulation and gives them voice. This is the sheer enjoyment of participating in life to the full, expressing ourselves and hearing others and satisfying our desires. Lake is the youngest daughter, spirit of the fertile west and of autumn. Dewy lake or marsh above Zen thunder. Give us the primary hexagram of 17. Let's see. Yeah. Once our third line transforms from a young or old yin to a young yang, that will give us a bottom or inner trigram for our supporting hexagram of solid, broken, solid. This is Li, fire and light. Li is fire and light, both inner and outer. As an inner light, she is consciousness at its most lucid and unclouded, holding things together in the mind, perceiving their differences and connections, and discerning the underlying patterns of relationship. And as well as vision, Li is the light that makes things visible, the power to cast light on things, spreading clarity and the awareness of order. Li is the middle daughter, living in the south, the region of midsummer and the burning sun. Li, fire and light below dewy lake or marsh give us the supporting hexagram of 49. We will also look at the secret hexagram, but we will wait to the end to do so. We will get the titles to these hexagrams from I-ming's Taoist I Ching, which he wrote in 1796 as a Taoist adept. It's quite chemical in nature, alchemical, that is. Hexagram 17, our primary hexagram following. According with conditions, going along with human desire to gradually introduce guidance. And our supporting hexagram, which puts our primary hexagram in a broader context and influence, a direction of travel, an underlying issue that has to do with you and your relationship to it all. 49, revolution, refining personal desires to become unselfish. Starting out, we will look at Kibi's I Ching Tarot to see what her images were for each of our hexagrams. 17 following. Take a break when the peak phase. Rather than blindly following, your ability to judge your own current situation and decide what to follow on your own will be tested. And she's got trigrams. The trigram Zen Thunder on her scarf over and over again. Interesting. And our supporting hexagram 49, resolution, or revolution rather. She also calls revolution. Revise, change, innovate. We prepare for the deadline and wait for the change to take place, but we can only realize when the change will actually take place after the reform. Next, we will look at our hexagrams through the lens of Hilary Barrett in I-ming, Walking Your Path, Creating Your Future. It's a nice introductory I-ming commentary, but also quite profound. When we approach the I-ming to consult the oracle, the question we bring to it will always have the general context of how can I act in creative relation with the spirits or forces shaping this moment of time. My son drew in this. Hexagram 17 following. Key questions. How are things flowing? And how can you move with them? Where are you being nudged and guided? Oracle. Following. From the source. Creating success. Constancy bears fruit. No mistake. Energy flows strongly into life's landscapes, bringing a great creative drive from the source through towards fulfillment. Following it means a willingness to honor the flow and align actions with it. You can know your ideal and then allow it to meld with the natural current, following signs and nudges and allowing them to draw you onward. Then you may experience following as an effortless flow of supportive synchronicities, or you may experience it as events unfolding in accordance with their own schedule and failing to keep to yours. It can seem as if simply allowing yourself to be guided by the current is not enough, and you ought to be doing something. But moving with the creative process is not a mistake. Image. At the center of the lake is thunder. Following. A noble one at nightfall goes inside for renewal and rest. In spring, the dragon flies out over the fields and brings rain, but over winter he sleeps at the bottom of the lake. As the dragon and the noble one know, energy is stored up below the level of conscious activity, and so to connect with it, you need to go inside and sleep. Instead of obsessively pursuing your desires, stop and rest in accordance with the season. Sequence. Following comes from hexagram 16, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm naturally means following. When you have a great vision, things and people are naturally carried along by it. And it could be that what first visited you as inspiration corresponds with a larger, more fundamental energy that you experience now as an inner momentum to events. Pair. Following is paired and contrasted with hexagram 18, corruption. Following has no causes, corruption, and then order. Following, you live in the present. Events are not experienced as the effects of causes. They arise spontaneously in the moment. But corruption marks a time for investigating the causes of negative effects, setting life on a more solid foundation. And our supporting hexagram, which puts our primary hexagram in a broader context and influence, a direction of travel, an underlying issue that has to do with you and your relationship to it all. 49, radical change. Key questions. How can you break the mold? How must the form change to express the essence? Oracle. Radical change. On your own day, there is truth and confidence. From the source, creating success, constancy bears fruit. Regrets vanish. It is time for transformation. The old Chinese character for radical change, which also means leather, shows an animal hide. This is change like a shaman's, putting on a new skin to change your identity. And it is also revolutionary change. This hexagram marks the day when the Zhao people and their allies marched out to meet the armies of the corrupt Shang dynasty and defeated them. You change the governing principle and bring about renewal. In the moment of change, there is truth, sincerity, and a sure knowledge. Then the power of the whole unfolding creative process, from the source through on to fulfillment and fruition, can enter here and change the world. Naturally, regrets vanish, along with the past to which they belong. The new time is coming. Image. In the center of the lake there is fire, radical change. A noble one calculates the heavenly signs and clarifies the seasons. Cool tiger on here. The new king must realign the calendar with the stars, bringing his people's daily activities back into harmony with the time. The light of awareness is at the center of things, clear and unambiguous as starlight, and the calendar gives it expression. Inner lucidity illuminates and transforms a way of life, not bringing change for its own sake, but restoring a natural harmony. Sequence. Radical change follows from Hexagram 48, the well. The way of the well does not allow things not to change radically. Over time, human regimes fall out of harmony with the way, Tao. Reconnecting with the unchanging source requires you to change the way you live. Pair. Radical change forms a pair with Hexagram 50, the vessel. Radical change puts away the old. The vessel grasps renewal. Before you can found the new, you must remove the old. You may need to make deeper changes than you imagined. We will now look at our changing line 3, which puts a pin in the map to say you are here, or at least here some places you may find yourself, takes precedence over all other elements, and is the most focused part of the reading. Changing line 3 has the general context, an emerging identity, facing a transition, with fear or desire, resolution or indecision. Primary Hexagram 17 following changing line 3. Bound to the mature man, letting the small child go. Following, there is quest and gain. Settling with constancy bears fruit. There is a choice between the mature man and the small child, as a way of being or as an association to follow. To choose the adult is to take responsibility for creating change and lose the open, carefree nature of the child. The adult makes choice and pursues it with an earnest steadiness of purpose. Then, hopefully, he stops and makes himself at home with what he has attained. Next, we'll look at Benabel Wen and her I-ming, The Oracle. I like all the background information she gives, and she tends to lean towards the shamanic roots of the I-ming. 17, inspiring followers. The Oracle. To learn how to lead, you must first learn how to serve. A follower becomes the leader. To learn how to serve is to secure voluntary assent from followers. If you obtain your followers through force or cunning, by conspiracy or division, your leadership will be short-lived. There will be movements of resistance against you. Force them and they will resist. Serve them and they will serve you. Reward loyalty with generosity. Trust in your own excellence. And yet, for there to be sincere trust, you must fully embody and demonstrate that excellence. Thunder strikes at the center of fertile marshes. The sage inspires the novices to face the dark night before a new moon and guides them from uncertainty to serenity. A banquet is set for the festivity. Supreme good auspices are prognosticated. Advantageous to proceed, there is no blame. Inciting movement upward, growth and progress to come. To lead, one must cultivate virtue and fully embody that virtue in every interaction. That is how one inspires a great myriad of followers. Win the hearts and minds of the people. That is how you gain victory without conflict. Avoid conflict for the sake of the people. Supporting hexagram, which puts our primary hexagram in a broader context and influence, a direction of travel, an underlying issue that has to do with you and your relationship to it all. 49, revolution, the oracle. Revolution to rectify injustice begins with revolution of the heart. First, change inner misalignments before seeking a transformation of others. It is your responsibility to affirm that a call for change is for the better, and not for a different form of the same. Thus, true change comes when you are aligned with heaven's will. What you seek requires momentum, and to drum up that momentum, live and abide by higher principles. Those who see you embody the higher principles will be attracted to you, and you will gain momentum. Having that majority support is the authority you need for a just revolution. A leather hide born of a magnificent fire, a change, to remove, to expel, reform. The talons of the bird cling to its offspring. Prosperity and material gains, a great position of advantage. Disappointments vanish, an auspicious omen. At the heart and center is a magnificent fire. The methods to be employed are like the art of tanning a leather hide. The sage must set the calendar and timing of events to come. Inspire confidence. When the people see that you have a vision, a plan, and the talent to carry forth that plan, they will be joyful and loyal. Social change. The leather hide is a metaphor for social change. It signifies removing or expelling an old and installing a new. Thus, hexagram 49 is often interpreted as prognostication of reform or revolution. There are political or social implications. Hexagram 49 expresses the passing of the mandate of heaven. The current ruler has violated the moral obligation to care for the people. Thus, the right to revolt is granted to the people, and through it, the new Son of Heaven will be revealed. Next, we will look at our changing line 3, which puts a pin in the map to say you are here, or at least here, some places you may find yourself. It takes precedence over all other elements and is the most focused part of the reading. Changing line 3 has the general context, an emerging identity, facing a transition with fear or desire, resolution or indecision. Hexagram 17, our primary hexagram, changing line 3. Attached to the husband, losing the little son. The pursuit results in gains. The forecast is that of success in the settlement of the matter. The first part of this line is the reverse of the second line. The husband is symbolic of reciprocal benefits and one with experience and knowledge, one who can yield utility right now, whereas the son is symbolic of future potential and one-way dependency. Instead of serving the helpless, choosing the one who can help you results in achievement of your immediate objective. Next, we will look at I-ming's Taoist I Ching, which he wrote in 1796 as Taoist Adept. It's quite alchemical in nature. Hexagram 17, Following. Following is greatly developmental. It is beneficial if correct. Then there is no fault. Explanation. Following means going along. As for the qualities of the hexagram, above is lake, joyous, and below is thunder, active. It means self and others in accord, others rejoicing when one acts, acting to the delight of others. Therefore it is called following. This hexagram represents seeking feeling through essence. It follows on the previous hexagram of humility. Humble people make naught of what they have and reveal what they lack. Thereby they use yin to make yang complete. However, this is after the return of yang. Before yang has returned, true yang will not come unless there is a way to summon and absorb it. The way to summon and absorb it is the path of following. In this hexagram, thunder and lake join. Thunder, associated with the east, represents the essence, the self. Lake, associated with the west, represents feeling, the other. In the beginning of life, essence and feelings are one. The primordial true yang is originally in oneself, but when it mixes with acquired conditioning, it is lost outside, is no longer one's own, but belongs to other. If you want to get back to the origin and return to the fundamental, you have to steal it back from the other. Following as a path is going along with what is desired, gradually introducing guidance. Going along with desire means the self follows the other and gets the other's favor, inducing the other to come follow the self. Other and self following each other, essence seeks feeling. Feeling returns to essence, and that which had been lost is restored to oneself. This is great development by way of the path of following. However, though the path of following can be greatly developmental, yet there are true and false medicinal substances. There is progression and order in the firing process. There are times for action and stillness. There are times for advance and withdrawal. A small slip produces a tremendous miss. Therefore, for the great development of the path of following, correctness is most beneficial. Correct means right, following rightly, the self sensing rightly, the other responding rightly. When self and other are both right, even artificial feeling transforms into true feeling, and even artificial essence changes into true essence. Essence loves receptivity and rectitude in feeling. Feeling loves compassion and benevolence in essence. Strength and flexibility, one energy, essence and feeling joined, we return to pristine purity. Wholly integrated with natural principle, the golden elixir crystallizes, tranquil and unperturbed, yet sensitive and effective yet tranquil and undisturbed. Those who are faulty at the outset wind up impeccable in the end. Try to understand when following is right or wrong, good or bad. In our supporting hexagram, which puts our primary hexagram in a broader context and influence, a direction of travel, an underlying issue that has to do with you and your relationship to it all. 49, revolution. In revolution, the sun of the self is truth. This is creative, developmental, fruitful, and perfect. Regret vanishes. Explanation. Revolution means riddance. The reason for riddance is obsolescence. As for the qualities of the hexagram, above is lake, joyous, and below is fire, luminous. Joy is based on illumination, while illumination controls joy. In joy, there should be no delusion. In illumination, there should be no obscurity. Producing joy from within illumination, having illumination within joy, therefore it is called revolution. In the image of the hexagram, lake is metal, associated with the west. Fire is the fire associated with the south. Refining metal by fire, when metal meets fire, it produces brightness and is melted down. When fire meets metal, it goes into storage and returns to the root. This too is the meaning of revolution. This hexagram represents refining yin energy. It follows on the previous hexagram, exhaustion. In exhaustion, joy is produced from the midst of danger. This is how to take the true yang and water to get out of danger. However, even if you can take the true yang and water, if you cannot restore the true yin and fire, the gold elixir will not crystallize and you will not attain joy. So this path of producing joy from within illumination is indispensable. Producing joy from within illumination is the working of refining yin energy. Refining yin energy means refining one's own personal desires to become unselfish. Humans are the most conscious of beings, born with the true energy of the patterns of yin and yang, of heaven and earth. When they are first born, they unconsciously follow the laws of the Lord. Completely good, with no evil, the true essence is bright and clear, the open awareness unobscured. Emotions do not stick in their hearts. Wealth and poverty do not disturb their minds. Wild beasts cannot harm them. Weapons cannot get at them. Water and fire cannot overcome them. Life and death cannot burden them. When hungry, they simply eat. When cold, they just put on clothes, without thought or reflection. Their capacity is originally clear. Then when people reach the age of 16, yang culminates, producing yin. As they deal with things based on acquired conditioning, they develop characteristic temperaments and intellectual knowledge. At this point, only sages of superior wisdom granted by nature, when they are not opposing nature in the primal state, and when they serve nature in the temporal state, are able to preserve primal reality and not be damaged by acquired conditioning. Among mediocre and lesser people, rare are they who are not ruled and manipulated by acquired conditioning. After this, 100 anxieties confuse their minds. Myriad affairs belabor their bodies. They take the artificial